'Cause then you'll see my heart in the saddest state it's ever been.
It's ever been.
This is no place to try and.
You're such a good singer,
live.
Pat. It honestly bums me out.
Oh, you bum me out. Sorry, that was so. Even though it was nonsensical riffing, it came out and was so mean and wrong. I would feel bad about it for a minute. It's kind of like in the high school era when people would be like, your face is stupid. It's like, ow. Like, people would just say shit about your face. You're like, I know, like, we're being silly, but relax, bro. Hey, welcome. Are we starting? Have we started?
We're starting. We're here.
So,
We're there, man.
is one of the Infinity Stones a fruit?
A random green fruit.
In the music video for Who I Am Hates Who I've Been by Relient K. Welcome to the Clockstoppers fan show.
Let's do it.
A lot going on. And you know what? Just none of that made sense. Play the intro song and we'll sort through it when we get out on the other end. All right.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent podcast. Okay, Relient K. We did was it the Mmhmm episode?
We have done
What did we do?
Mmhmm.
It was the whole album.
Yep. Yeah. Good one.
Jesus.
Jesus is a theme on the album. Speaking of themes on the album, Jesus.
You wrote an article that was like as punk as it is preachy, and we put it on Reddit, and this one dude was not having that title. He was like, I'm so sick of people saying that.
Did he even read it? I compliment them the whole time.
I know. Clearly he didn't.
Like the whole point is that they accomplished both. This isn't that episode, and that guy on Reddit is allowed to be mad if he wants to be. Basically what it is like, they rock hard on this. Jesus is also present. And I think they walk the line better than most people. Like,
oh, yeah.
We were talking to somebody recently who was saying it feels like the whole Christian rock circuit isn't as big as it was. And like there was like still old world listening to your parents and attending church familial units or something. Like not that doesn't exist anymore, but like it felt like there were more kids that were like, yeah, I have this youth group thing I have to go. But like there was this like appetite for bands like Relient K to just rule the world, man.
I wonder if there will be a resurgence when Attack comes back on the scene. Because I think they might have taken the whole industry with them.
Stickley was a metaphor for the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that when I was discovering Relient K, it would have been 2003 or 2004, I was very Christian, and it was like, oh my God, it's music that I love that's like, I don't know, holy or whatever the f*** you think is a kid. But now that I'm an atheist, I still f***ing love this band.
Yeah,
like,
we were watching the music video over and over.
Oh my God.
And you were like, wow, I really love Relient K. I'm like,
yeah.
And it's so good.
I've always known that, but you know, there's parts where like into the chorus, you get that bum, bum, bam, bum, bum, bam, and you're like, wow, this song fucks really hard.
Hard stop. Full send.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to talk about them more.
Oh, agreed, 100%. Let me hit you with a question. Is this the best track?
That's a
It's late on the album.
Good ass album.
We'll get into the fun facts later, but just in your heart. Yep, that's the name of the album we're talking about. Sorry. This is like, no, I said who's on first? What's on second?
Probably. It's definitely their most commercially successful song, but in my heart, I don't know. I think I usually
So we talk about track listings a lot. It's late.
What's it on? Like what track number?
Let's see who can look it up first. It's a race.
I win by default because you're using my Apple Music account. Oh no, I have duplicates. The whole album's duplicated for me. It's 10. Track 10. Most bands are done by this point. I feel
it's
like
track 11, my boy. Did you just guess in an effort to beat me?
No, I'm not on. Oh, this is my library version of Apple Music version. Damn.
Okay, anyway, I guess the larger point here is it's not a track 8 powerhouse, which we always try to like
No, it's
carve
track
out.
10.
I disagree.
It's track 10. According to Apple Music, it's track 10. I usually think of I So Hate Consequences when I think of this album.
What are you looking at, man?
Are you on Apple Music or in your library?
Apple Music. I looked them up, and then I went to the band's page.
You were looking in your sorry, I'm just like sorting through Pat's phone. In Apple Music, it's track. Who cares? It's either track.
I care now. You're gonna slander my shit in front of the world? Get the out of here. Miss me with that shit.
It's track 10. Most bands have fizzled out by now.
I owe it all to my girl's ex-boyfriend.
Oh God, what an album!
I think it's fit here. Okay,
it's not the first one I think of, but it's clearly the
Doctor.
It's clearly the best song, probably that the band's ever written. But they are
so I think I agree.
Good at writing songs.
It's the best on them.
Okay, good.
But with the track listing, it's so deep. It's like I wonder if they thought Sunny with a High of 75 or So Many Consequences or there was. Because it's such a phenomenal album, front loaded.
Yeah.
But then you get deep and you're like, oh, this is an all timer. Yeah. Because if it's this deep and a song like Who I Am Hates Who I've Been can, and again, we'll get into the fun facts in like seconds, I swear. We just really like it. It's so good. It rocks so hard. They go from fast to slow, tempo switches, thematic switches.
Yeah.
Who I Am, they start off, it's kind of like a power move to start off with like Proverbial Sunrise, like that khaki rock softness, but also they melt your face several times on the album. It's pretty interesting. I had another question. Did you have any idea what this song was about?
No.
I thought and I never looked into it because I didn't want to know if this was true. I guess some sort of misstep with a loved one, a lover, and in like a bedroomy situation. Like I when he was talking about crossing lines, I was like, I hope this song is not about this, because that would be make harder to listen to. Like if he was grappling with those types of demons by saying that. But I guess it was a fight with a bandmate. He just was being a dick, and he was like, I don't want to be this guy.
Interesting. Again, having never listened to lyrics in my life, the only line that really comes up from memory is Who I Am Hates Who I've Been. I just thought it was just in general a personal growth. I don't want you to know where I am, because you'll see my heart in the saddest state it's ever been.
So Matt Thiessen wrote this song in Australia of all places, in a light feud, in light of a feud with Brian Pittman, the band's bassist. The lyrics reflect remorse for his behavior. Thanks, lyrical genius, as well as pleas for forgiveness. I thought it was, like a romantic relationship type situations, and I'm glad it's not. But also, I'll ask you this, because it's kind of posed vaguely enough that it could be a romantic partner being referenced. Is this the best I'm Sorry song we've ever covered on the show? The best apology from a pop punk lead singer? It's pretty heartfelt. It's pretty genuine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of subject matter, he's laying it all out. There's a lot of personal growth going on in this song.
And is it the bassist that's still in the band?
I don't know. Usually we don't have follow-ups for each other, but right. I did not think to look further into it.
Because, that's an interesting dynamic. If the bassist is still in the band performing his, the apology song that was directed at him.
Would that be weird for friends to, years later be like, remember I wrote that song about that beef we had for a minute?
Probably. Yeah. You can never forget it. Especially if it's your best-selling song.
I know. Isn't that so weird as a songwriter? You just it changes your whole life. It becomes something you have to, I never would have written it if I knew I had to sing it every month for the rest of my life.
Right.
In front of hundreds of people who are screaming it back at me. Pretty interesting. And, we joke oddly a lot about Clockstoppers on the show. But the music video freaking rule. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Please save me with fast facts, because this is a quick Sherpa credit. Sam, khaki rock, Christian rock, kind of like a, we talk about the Fray, and we talk about that band I can never remember the name of, the Stars. Oh my God, I butchered every time.
What?
Switchfoot. I always think anyway, McMahon and all that stuff, but kind of the softer side. This is the Sam Sherpa region, Sam and Doug youth group going up to that really beautiful studio they had up there at Erie First. And just rocking out. And then you're like, oh, these dudes throw down a little bit. You're going to hard, some of the craziest hardcore shows with those dudes I've ever been to. But you're like, oh, yeah, I'll go to youth group. And then it's like, oh my God, you're sweating your ass off playing basketball. And you're like, they like play better basketball, listen to harder music, and like they're just like throwing down at this beautiful facility, and you're like, what life are you living? It was kind of an insane experience.
Rock climbing
on like a weeknight.
Right.
Like,
they had like a rock climbing wall that was like on the side of a 2-story basketball court.
yes, yeah. Living more in one night than I've lived in my life. Just like, man, stop right there.
Oh,
and
man.
that's exactly where I lost it.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, yo. Doctor.
They went on tour in 2005 with Good Charlotte and Simple Fucking Plan.
Tweet at the show at _Reminiscent FM if you were there. My God. Yes.
God.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I mean, when you hear about like was it 2001 when Green Day and Blink toured? Like, if I was given like one wish, it would be to go back in time and be at that show. If I had 2 wishes, the second one would be to go to this show.
So, yeah, sometimes you'll look at the Wikipedia entries and, the past tours and who caught who coming off what record? And, at the time, there's no way to really know who's going to majorly pop. But yeah, that's such an absurd ticket. It's hard to really fathom how awesome that show would have been and how many people there would have been as familiar with Mmhmm as it would have been needed to really get the most out of that show. Because that isn't always the case. You know what I mean? Like you try to study up on the new music, but sometimes not everybody's prepared or as much as they should be. What a great show. What a great show. I wonder if they knew what they had in this song from the jump.
I feel like if they knew it was going to be this big, they would have put it earlier on the record, right?
I don't know. We'll try to answer that before the show's over. Or take our best guess anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, the song went certified gold, which isn't all American Rejects numbers, but I think is
I shouldn't laugh. That is the standard because they are huge. And again, we like All American Rejects.
Right.
That's the thing is we don't even dislike them.
But 500,000 is crazy, especially for I felt Relient K wasn't this huge big band. I mean, I think they did play main stage in Warped Tour in 2007, and I left them to go see Devil Wears Prada, which was the worst trade deal in history.
Whoa, takes are being laid down.
I've told this story.
You sound like a former president.
I've told the story that I went to go see Devil Wears Prada. I was in the pit and this 30-year-old dude, he kicked his leg while he threw his arm back. And he kicked me in the Charlie horse and punched me in the throat at the same time. The exact same time. And I couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't stand on my leg.
Can you remind me what the Charlie horse is?
In the side of the quad. And it you lose the ability to feel or move your leg. So I was gasping for air as I was hobbling on one foot out of the pit. And I was I should have stayed at Relient K. When I came back, they were playing the Office theme song. I was damn, that's a fucking party over here, man. Anyways.
Hey, you want some pizza? There's a rock wall. What lives are you living? Are you just genuinely happy a lot? Shit, that sounds nice.
Anyways, yeah, I mean, really good numbers, especially for a band that you wouldn't. Were they on the radio? I mean, I guess, okay, so reaching number 58 on US Billboard Hot 100, making it still their most successful single to date. Oh man, TRL.
So whether they knew going in or not, it became immediately clear.
Yeah, for sure.
And which means they probably knew, right? Hey, these are how does that work from your experience, what working with Taylor, some of the people, because you listen to podcasts and things like that, bands admit that sometimes they're not sure what's going to land the way it does.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was just word of mouth or something, but just track 10, track 11, whatever it is maybe the greatest song I've ever heard in my life because it's so good. The riff, the lyrics, everything about it. It might be the best apology song ever written.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's obviously too lofty to be true, but of the niche we talk about, I mean, without using the words, well, just keep going. It became clear right away is what I'm saying. Whether or not they were aware beforehand, they were very quickly made aware because of its success.
The music video entered TRL's top 10 in 2005, reaching as high as 8 on the countdown. It's a good ass music video.
Yeah.
We were going to watch it twice before we hit record, and I kept going back wait, the fruit, the key. Really trying to nail down what the hell is going on here.
It is both Horcrux and Infinity Stone. It is time itself. It's the aluminum can Matthew McConaughey tears apart in True Detective Season 1. It is the flat circle. It is all consuming. All right, I'll stop. Sorry.
And if you look at the Wikipedia, it's like a guy, a vendor throws a random green fruit, but like the importance of this object cannot be undersold.
We'll get there, old boy.
Okay. Let's just go there now. The music video.
Oh, we're going there.
We're there.
Music video, girl, apartment, New York, having fun, urban setting. She's going to go outside for a walk, I think. And there's also a band. And they're on a roof. And it's not the Beatles. It's Relient K. I was going to ask you, better roof performance, the Beatles or Relient K in this music video?
Let me swerve and say that live performance of The Chariot where they played at that dude's house and they were just on the roof. But that wasn't a music video. Fuck the Beatles. Relient K. This is clearly what video were they on the roof?
When we were prepping for the show, you also like the roof. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be a quick throwaway. Like we joke about the Beatles. No, there's like a famous Beatles roof performance.
Was it like of a tall building?
Yeah, it was quite tall. Yes.
Okay, I bet Relient K's building was taller, but.
Sidestepping the question similarly to how the girl in this video sidesteps the curse she falls under.
Oh, shit.
No. The Beatles just had this thing where there's a roof thing. It doesn't matter. This was supposed to be a throwaway joke. Let's just move right past it to the girl in the apartment, and then there's fruit. Talk me through this interaction, I guess. It seems so innocent.
She walks out of her apartment, and a lovely male person gives her a smile.
Not a postal service worker, a male individual.
No, it was I think it was a male post office person. A mailman. I was trying to not to assign a gender. A male person.
That does what?
Oh God, wait, hold on.
Are you talking about the fruit vendor that tosses her fruit?
No, right when she walks out the door. Okay, so we're in New York City. Lots of grumpy people.
This is the easiest part of the video. We have to discuss fucking time travel. Like, no, man, this guy tossed the fruit. We're getting hung up on the worst
before
details.
The fruit, she walks out of the apartment, and a post office worker smiles and waves. Just a very friendly post. This is all I'm saying.
This is
a very friendly post
office
office
This is the detail
person.
I knew you were going to lead with.
Unrealistic as hell.
And I'm kidding.
Breaking the illusion here. Okay.
Yes.
And then she walks around a corner and a fruit vendor just throws her a melon. Free of charge, I guess.
Yeah, there's a question for me. Has a fruit vendor ever, like in a jovial manner, tossed free food to you?
Never.
Have you ever seen it happen?
No.
I'd like to.
I've never seen a fruit vendor with a smile on their face.
Oh.
Sad bunch.
Well,
the most emo of all the vendors.
I don't know. You ever wake up early and go to like a farmer's market when the world opens back up?
Well, that's different than someone selling on the side of a New York City street.
Is it?
Yes. Absolutely.
The question so at a farmer's market, has a vendor ever gleefully tossed something for free to you? Because if you say yes, I'm going to be like, you drew a line between farmer's market and street vendor?
Yes, absolutely. There's a line.
Okay.
But no, the food has never left.
Happened. I would say it never happened to me either, but I hope one day.
I've never had the hang time.
It's kind of it's kind of like wanting as a teen. I'm like, man, I want to be a regular somewhere someday. Like, that'd be so cool. Like, as a teen, you kind of want that. Like, you want to be an adult in a certain way. It's kind of like, yeah, I want someone to toss me fruit. Okay.
Right. So she knows this fruit vendor.
I think arguments could be made for that. Yeah, but I didn't come to that assumption myself. But sure, let's assume it's her neighborhood. He's there a lot. He's like, hey.
All right.
Hey, we're having a good day. What could go wrong today?
Right. What could possibly go wrong?
And there's also the band on the roof.
Band on the roof.
And I got to ask a question.
All right.
Do you have thoughts on Matt Thiessen's hair in this video? Is that an emo haircut? A little bit of bang, barely, but intentionally somewhat in front of one of the eyes.
Yeah, just one eye, just barely. I think if we had a different camera angle, we wouldn't see as much of the right eye coverage.
In defense of the hairstylist, if we would have had full access to both eyes, he's so close in this video, I think we might have gone blind. Like would have had to have been like a blinking light warning at the beginning of the video. So like some of these imagery is too jarring for certain audiences or something. He's right up in there.
It is an uncomfortable stare. It's so
he's a
close.
Handsome guy.
He's a good looking guy, but it's like
it's close,
right in there.
Oh, yeah.
All up in your shit. 6 feet, please.
Glossy lips, shiny eyes.
Yeah.
Just a wink and a glimpse.
Shiny eye and a half.
Yeah. So emo or no?
It is. He's the most emo kid at youth group. Because okay,
yes,
because we had these kids at my youth group that were like they were as emo as their moms would let them be, which like
might be the most punk rock thing of all. 'Cause some of those Christian households, man,
laying the hammer down,
strict for sure.
Right? Yeah. So it's like a mix between the khaki rock and like emo, but like you weren't allowed to dye your hair black. It's kind of like I knew kids that were just like this, and so yeah, we have Matt doing his thing. The guitarist who's on the left on screen is like guitar down below his knees, and he is putting on a show.
Yeah. Let's just stop there for a second. Thoughts on, even from a chiropractic standpoint, playing guitar that low? And I know you're a Tom DeLonge enthusiast, so I'll let you explore this thought for a little bit. You can have the floor for a moment.
Yeah, Tom has been vocal about like legitimate
disc
chiropractic damage.
Yes. This guy is doing this foot stomp with bent knees, Scott Pilgrimy a little bit, like Tom DeLonge a little bit. He's like had a lot going on. Got the mohawk, got a little soul patch. There's a moment in the video where he stares into the souls of America through the lens of the camera.
So
he's having his moment.
Making love to the camera.
Yeah.
There's something about, I went to this like Christian retreat thing when I was in 7th grade, and like this cheesy rock band, like Christian rock band played. They were called like Light something or other. They were from Erie, and they were like
Light the Way,
normal ass dudes that were like rocking super hard, and it just like same energy as what the guitar is giving. No disrespect. I don't want to sit like pretend like it seem like I'm talking shit.
Sounds like disrespect.
He's putting on a show, but it seems very Christian rock to me. More Christian rock than this band is. They're just straight up pop punk to me.
You mentioned this before we recorded, looking right into Matt Thiessen's face while watching the video, that he looks like a guy that wouldn't be in a band that's this good. Can you talk about the aesthetic of the band itself? He's playing without a pick. Can we talk about that for a second?
Playing with the side of his thumb.
Yeah, just thwacking away, whatever you said in the bass draft, baseline draft. Yeah, I think it's kind of badass. He's just like, I don't have a pick. I'm just going to play what my soul tells me to play. I think there's something badass about it.
It's really interesting. No pick. He just has like his hand on the fretboard and he's like moving his thumb up and down the strings. I wonder how much of that signal is actually cutting through in the mix there. But no, so God, I don't want it to seem like I'm dragging these people for their visual appearances, because I think that they're totally fine. But like, I feel like if you saw Matt Thiessen and he was like, I'm in a band, you'd be like, oh, okay, they're probably like fine. But Relient K is like the greatest fucking band ever. Yes. And they just, none of these guys, the drummer has like a visual where it's like, I don't know, not to like just,
it might be a khaki rock thing, because I remember we did the Punk Rock Princess video, and you're at this grimy club, you're like, maybe you're scouting someone for the studio, let's say in this dream job scenario or whatever. Not that that's my dream job necessarily. Maybe probably isn't actually, but you're like, oh wow, who's going to come from behind the curtain there? Like, who the are we here to see in this grimy club? And then some dude in this purple stripes with khakis, with a collar coming out, floppy blonde hair, looks like a beach boy, but like on more mushrooms. And you're just like, who the is this? And then they lay down, and then you do a total back to 360, separate full second 180, and he lays down some of the best shit you've ever heard. You're like, what is this? Just jarring. I guess what sucks is when like old timey sayings just like sum up what you're trying to say. It's like you literally just can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah,
and that's like what I've been trying to say for a while. And could have just said that.
It's a full second 180.
I do have one more question about Matt Thiessen's appearance.
Okay.
Matt, specifically, staring in the camera. Thoughts on people who appear to never have had braces, but are still very handsome.
Oh, God. I bet their parents are thrilled they didn't spend the $20,000 on it.
It's I'm a little jealous of all the things to be jealous about. I'm like, he's working a little endearing gap. He's got it going. It's just like, damn you, Matt Thiessen. You're playing without a pick. You're doing things your way. And you look so confident in it. and you're at the top of your field. You just are like and you seem to live your life the right way. You're apologizing to a friend for wronging them through song. It's just like the most wholesome shit ever. And there's a rock wall. Anyway, okay. All of this is to say that, look, we like Relient K. Anyway.
All right, friendos, give me a minute here to thank our Patreon supporters in the top tier, our Council of Elders. In this group, we have Andre Prevost, Johnny Leftwich, Jason Carey, Anonymous, Chris Lukey, JW Johnson, and Nathan Eshelman. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Really appreciative of everyone in the Patreon. You are funding some very cool projects right now. More details as they come. We just released our video AMA in the Patreon just the other day, so if you'd like to check that out, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent, where you can also check out weekly post shows, behind the scenes videos, voting on new episodes, all kinds of stuff happening there. But either way, thank you so much for listening, and back to the episode.
Back to the video. Before we hit the first chorus, they're rocking on the roof. This girl is making her way downtown, and I'm so sorry. She stops time itself, man. Right before the first chorus, she comes to a stop. So does time. And they do this wide shot. There's a skateboard that stops in midair. The whole deal.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about what's going through your mind. Did you even think about the fruit the first time you watched the video at any point up to this point?
I think I did. Stand out to me. It's just like, that's never happened to me. I've never had someone willingly give me their hard-earned produce. What?
Clockstoppers.
Right.
But different science. Different. I'm sorry. I said Clockstoppers, but not. No. It's interesting because you're like, uh-oh, time has stopped, but it doesn't. Talk to me about this.
Right. So she stops walking, and the whole scene that she's in, there's a skateboarder mid kickflip, people walking, a lady dropping papers. She stops walking and everything freezes. And if you listen to past episodes, you know that I'm usually not a fan of like stopping the music, adding sound effects, adding dialogue into a music video. But the song itself even stops. I mean, it was at a point where it would come down anyway, but it holds for like an extra 3 seconds as this girl looks around and was like, huh? What?
Pretty jarring. In her defense, that would be pretty wild.
Oh, absolutely.
I can only imagine.
Because they got everyone in like a very like striking place.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
Like
the skateboarder coming into the frame.
Yeah.
They were basically only missing the record scratch.
Right.
I guess you're wondering how I got into this situation.
Right. And then, so she kind of takes like half a step back, and the whole scene.
She pretty quickly starts playing around with it.
Yeah.
Like, she seems kind of thrilled, like more of a sense of wonderment before it gets like kind of like dark and scary. It doesn't get dark.
Right.
But like at first she's just like, whoa. You're like, I thought the fruit was a big deal.
Not to mention the smiling male person.
Okay, enough. At no point did I think you were going to even mention, because now it's a thing, but it shouldn't. You know what? Let's just keep going. Yes, that is also a part of her day, technically. Okay.
God.
So, they're rocking on the roof. He's apologizing to a friend. We have not yet connected the narrative of her journey with the song at all at this point. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, not quite. I mean, is there a huge connection between the music video
Let's
and the
keep
lyrics?
going with her story.
Okay.
She's playing around, taking like comical, playful steps forward and back, like an old-timey 20s, 30s, 40s era movie, like Gene Kelly dancing like, and then like this one woman is dropping books, the fruit guy's wiping sweat back and forth.
Right, and as she walks backwards, the whole scene rewinds a little bit, and it moves
kind of a cool effect for the time, you said.
I think it's very striking.
Yeah.
Like, just, she takes like a tiniest step back, and the scene rewinds
like
at the speed in which she moves. So she's moving back and forth, is going in and out, and she's walking through this scene, realizing that whenever she walks forwards, the scene moves forward at that speed. Same as backwards.
She's a VCR, dude. No, okay. Then she notices
she's
something.
A pencil and a cassette tape.
But it becomes much less fun when she discovers what?
Are we already there yet?
Oh, we're there, man.
Wow. Okay, so she's
because she has to notice that this isn't just a wonderful life, because she's in hell. This is awful. She sees a pedestrian, and the pedestrian's about to get hit by a car.
Before that, there's a lady dropping papers.
Books. Yeah.
Books, and she runs to help the lady, realizing that the faster she runs towards her, the faster she drops her books. So already it's the slightest hint of like responsibility of the linear progression of time itself falls directly onto like your footsteps. So like we think like, okay, this is actually torture, right?
But her running towards the book lady, and later, I'm just going to say, she doesn't learn anything from the book thing, because she also runs to the pedestrian who's about to get hit by the car and almost gets him hit faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Which she could have rewound, obviously, but like she stops in her tracks, like almost falls over trying to stop from a full sprint because she was trying to be like, hey, stop.
Yeah, guy reading a book, walking into traffic.
But she judged on those two interactions alone, before she left her house that day, before the melon, before the fruit stand,
before the smiling male
before
person.
the fruit stand guy or male person, both might be in on it. Let's explore that later.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. Lowest stakes
it's
ever.
Morgan Freeman.
Clockstoppers. Blink-182 is on the soundtrack, weirdly, for a Nickelodeon movie. You know, kind of weird. Weird that it's mud. And that and American Pie. No, just kidding. It was First Date. So she stops in her tracks. The guy doesn't get hit by the car. And then she's like backing up. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is
Very
hell. At this point,
cautious.
this is like, what burden is this?
Right. And like seconds before this, she had the biggest, most endearing smile on her face. Like I
Wonderment. It's a
hold
Disney movie.
the key to the universe in my stride.
Snow White and the Seven Infinity Stones.
7 Horcruxes.
That's right.
Yeah. So all of a sudden she realizes I
7
hold
rings?
this huge responsibility,
to rule them all?
and she's got to figure out how to possibly sidestep this whole situation. Heyo. And is there a way that she...
Okay, before you go any further, what are you doing in this situation? You see the guy's about to get hit, and you have just stopped at full sprint. Where's your head at?
I feel like my mind would immediately go to like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, I got to put those horse blinders on at some point and
You
just like
switch
sprint through
yourself
my
with
day.
the guy in front of the car and go forward. Sorry.
Just looked at, like, you could never work a job if you're always trying to like keep people from, I don't know, getting in trouble.
Could you? You could just like be, if someone, like a customer is yelling at you for a wrong order, you could just sit down and be still for a bit and be like, I'll deal with this after I've like had my own cup of coffee.
Or like,
you are also in total control.
right. So what if rather going to see
But
that
what-
customer, you did a couple laps around the kitchen first, so they had some time to cool down, and then you
Right,
can
but
go
if
out
you're
and
walking,
see.
time's going.
Right.
But like, could you have a cigarette? Could you have a cup of coffee? Like, what amount of living equates to time moving forward? Or do you always have to be moving for time to be moving?
You always have to be moving for time to be moving forward. So rather than going straight to the customer, you can just literally kill time by still moving, but not going straight to that person. Take a few laps around the
I
kitchen,
think
let
if
that
she's
person calm
walking at
down.
all,
But the person's not
Time's
yelling.
gone.
The person at the table isn't yelling at her because she's not in front of that person.
no, you can't avoid it that easily. You have to come to a stop.
But then time doesn't go forward, and you still get
No,
yelled
that's what I'm
at.
saying. If you're
you need to
moving
kill
around.
time. You need to just burn time.
But you have to be still if you're going to pause it. If this is a good version of things, what can you do while standing still and time is also still?
But why would you want to stand still?
That's what I'm
You
saying.
still
So
have
it
to-
is. So it is hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yes. Like, is there a good version of this where you can just be like, stand really still and the world also does? And you're just like,
Do you age? Would you age if you're standing still?
you wouldn't have to. Would you get younger if you move backwards far enough? Could you go back to your emo years and do it all again?
And do you have to actually
Differently.
run backwards, or could you turn around and run forwards in the opposite direction of the way you're going? Or do you have to run backwards?
Yeah. If you were like
Heels first.
in a fight and you were like, listen to me. Are they just hearing it in real time, but you are perceiving them perceiving it slower? Sorry. Anyway, she backs up and very smartly, like, I think I might have backed up. Like, and was like, okay, no, the car, bad.
Yeah.
But then she just like, is like, oh, I'll just take one step to the left
So
and then everything's better. And this is where we have a disagreement about things. I think she shakes the curse, but it's like a cop out. Like, oh, the world's just better. She just avoided the curse of the melon. It just hits some random guy who drops his phone and sends some biker careening, which makes the guy who walks into the car notice something different and he doesn't die. But yeah, some guy holding TVs drops those and we lose a couple of electronics that are probably outdated at that point anyway.
I don't think the curse is broken. I think by moving sideways, I think the logic is that she was still moving, but it wasn't forward, so time wasn't progressing. She was able... because what originally happened, I went back and watched it over too many times to see what happened. When she caught the melon, she was in the middle. The melon handler was on the right, and there was a guy walking to the left past her. So when she walks to the left, it forced the guy who was originally on the left to be between her and the melon guy. So all she did was change her position at that moment in time. So then it's like the butterfly effect. Rather than her catching the melon, it hit a pedestrian. He gets upset and exclaims something, and she just changed.
A simple flap of a butterfly's wing, my dog.
I mean, that's it. That's
right, but
really
I mean,
it.
You think she's still afflicted by this burden?
I think after this guy does not get hit by the car, time is still moving according to her movement.
I disagree. I think she sidesteps the melon.
So literally the melon is the melon in her hand. I think
there's something to do with it. I'm just saying, like, she sidesteps and then she's just happy again. Like, oh, it, I saved the guy from getting hit by the car. It seems like it's lifted off her, but I'm not saying that's a good choice.
I think it's just that exact situation. I
so
think after this music video, there's still a life.
So you're saying she walked downstairs that day and became Time Person.
Yeah.
The super villain or something, or superhero, the female superhero. Because of what then? The mailman smile? Is that what you've been? Is this a long con? I'm just saying, like,
that's what I was saying.
It seems to be lifted from my perspective.
It's Morgan Freeman passing his powers onto her.
But who does she pass them to when she sidesteps? Cell phone guy?
She still has them. It's just that situation was avoided.
So she has it forever now.
Forever. Or maybe it's only if the melon's in her hand.
I don't think it's the melon itself. I'm just saying, like, I think what my argument is that when she sidesteps and it seems to be alleviated, there's too many untied knots here.
I swear to God, we cannot be more. Okay, tweet at the show.
Sure.
What does the sidestepping actually do? Does she break the curse, or did she just figure out the key for letting everyone live? Maybe at the cost of a couple old CRTVs, but they're going out of style soon anyways. Very anti-CRTV podcast.
I could give a
I think she still has the curse, but she avoided the man getting hit by the car. I think that's it. Because if she breaks the curse, then what was the curse? It was the melon.
She gets it that day and then just like saves one guy and is like, I guess I'll just live with this smile again. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I think there's I think
she's just a happy person in general. Her smile was infectious.
I think what we're saying
this entire video.
Give us the full length version of this fucking video, Hollywood. Come on, man.
This is the perfect pilot to a movie I would 100% watch.
And if you're like, hey, no, Clockstoppers, I'm like, no, it's different, idiot.
There's no guns in this one.
Yeah, what a weirdly dark movie. Thanks, Nickelodeon, for scarring everyone.
Oh man, Clockstoppers. We should watch that tonight.
We should watch that tonight.
As soon as we stop the potion, we're watching Clockstoppers.
Hey, let's actually, you know what? Let's put this one out of his misery, Tom. No, okay, but it a couple more points. They finally bring it back to I think what Thiessen is getting at here, the overall arching theme, which is if you could retrace your steps, change your route, that could impact others positively. And even a little change, working on yourself, adjusting things could.
So this song itself is the sidestep. He could have gone down a dark path of being an asshole and then moving on.
Yeah,
because his actions,
even saving one person from getting hit by the car or saving one relationship with a friend is worth enough in the short term. It's a small victory. Celebrate that victory. Gratitude style shit. Like, this is a good thing. That small sidestep, butterfly effect.
But if we're looking at the greater theme in the metaphor, your actions moving forward still affect the outcome around you.
So we're all afflicted with that shit, is what you're saying.
Yes. So she is still living with I think we cracked the code.
There you
She's
go.
living with,
But we all are.
but we all are.
But that doesn't mean it's pre-written.
The rest is still unwritten.
Oh my God, dude. Let the rain fall down and wash away. No disrespect to either of those artists. I love those songs a lot. Okay, so one more
We
thought.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it. Got to live a big time, which we have, I think, over the course of the last few minutes. If you're hanging in, thanks everybody, because that was I'm realizing in real time that was a little self-indulgent, but as soon as I saw this, wanted to go full Clockstoppers and be like, let's talk about what exactly the is happening here.
It's a super good music video.
It's a fun one. Who directed it?
Oh God, I just had his name. We've talked about him before, and it's
Butch
another John Watts.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
It's another guy who started on pop punk music videos and ended up producing Spider-Man movies.
Well, there's enough Spider-Man movies to go around. That's for sure.
Great soundtrack. So
Hey,
keeping it in the family.
Thanks, Peter Parker.
Song of the week.
We're not there yet, dude. I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
At the end on the roof, you go back to a low play. Thoughts on power stance, standing up straight and still, motionless as the last note of the song rings out.
Into it.
Cool, me too.
No, one more thing.
Yeah. I think it's maybe a little
prefix
lame.
C, the bridge. Because we talk a lot about, the three ways you can do a bridge. You can do the chorus.
There's probably more. Well, there's common ones on the show.
Sure.
The ones we talk about on the show.
The three most common ones, you can do something totally different. A whole
You're
separate
writing
part,
a bridge. It's a separate written part of the song. That is not the verse or chorus.
And it's either very big or very low, or you can do...
Which is risky because that's the most common form of it not working.
Yes. Think of every bridge except Left Alone on Blink-182's album California. Every bridge was dog shit on that album. Taylor Swift isn't a great bridge writer either.
Cruel Summer.
Well, that's just God tier across the board. But, well, no, remember when Hit the Brakes Too Soon? Anyways, so this bridge is a very mellow version of the chorus.
If I'm drunk in the back of the car, you're crying like a baby coming home from the bar. Those are
okay.
Those
It's
are
good. It's really good. It's good.
If everyone's like, oh, what do they like on the show? Well, Pat's drunk in the back of the car and Tom's crying like a baby coming home from the bar. That's them.
So this bridge, though, it is a piano-only version of
soft. So this is a soft,
very
chorus
soft
bridge.
chorus that tapers off. It just keeps getting softer and softer, and it ends with one little tinkle of the piano keys, and it's the very moment that I wish that I could take back. And time itself slows down. We add a couple beats
Blowing
here.
my f***ing mind this week, Tom. It's blazing. It's blazing.
Great song.
Yeah.
Top 10.
If anyone's going to pull it off, it's going to be Matt Thiessen.
It's one of the 50 songs in our top 10.
Do you think he's related to Tiffany Amber Thiessen?
Yes.
Really?
Actually, let's Google it.
One of my favorite Dr. Cox monologues end with him going like, Tiffany, or no, he's like, Sarah. No, he's trying to think of a girl named Nicole J. And he's like, Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Okay. Is Matt Thiessen related to Tiffany Thiessen? Wiki user. No.
Cool.
That's the answer.
Kind of knew that, but
no.
was it worth asking? Up for debate. Who's to say? Any closing thoughts overall? A lot of bus rides. So I always be like, oh, this could have been such a good bus ride song. This was my bus ride song.
It's so good.
On
oh my God.
Any number of bus rides.
Yeah.
Over probably nothing relatable. So, like, this is also a good song of like, there was never an instance where I was like the type of person who would make the mistake the song is referring to, whatever the mistake would be, the severity, doesn't seem like the type of person who would feel that actually sorry about it. You know, or maybe, I don't know, maybe humor's more flawed than that. Maybe it's more complicated. It probably is. It likely is. What am I trying to say? Like, I don't know. Have you ever been in a place where you needed this song after doing something like that to be like, I am this remorseful about this? Or were you kind of like with songs like this from dudes that were like 23, not 17 or 26 for that matter, like writing a more adulty stuff that you were making up stuff in your head to be like, yep, I've been there. Good thing this song's written about me.
I perceived it from a different like mindset, I guess. To me, I thought it was more of like a Christianity thing. Like before I was a Christian, I was a worse person is how I interpreted it. So there's definitely,
I think you're closer to right.
A few situations where
I thought it was a relationship thing, which I guess I just thought everything was. Yeah. And I was like, yep, been there, which I straight
totally
up hadn't. Exactly. Be like, man, it's like you're 3 kids in a trench coat at a bar trying to order a whiskey. You're just like, been there, brother. Anyway, so you're right. I was wrong on this one, and I have been misinterpreting it for years. And I'll admit that now, but I think I'll still hear it like that. I don't know. It's just so embedded in my brain. Okay, do you have a song of the week?
I do. I'm really going through Knuckle Puck's album from 2020 called 2020. The song "Breathe" featuring Derek Sanders of Mayday Parade is very good. Yeah, Knuckle Puck. What was that album? Copacetic.
Coco Cabana?
Coca Cabana. Copa
Oh, you know
Cabana.
I'm kidding. You're
Copa
fucking
Cabana.
You're
There you
fucking
go.
with me now. Gotcha. Okay.
At the Copa.
Copacabana.
Could you be? I know that you don't have headphones on, so you can't tell how absolutely fucking loud it is every time you sing. It's just like straight distorted.
There's a plug-in for that, dude.
There is.
Tom, fix it in post. All right, I'll go first. No, you just went. Can I go?
I'll allow it.
I'm still like trying to figure out flowers for vases.
I thought you were joking.
Yeah, no.
Flowers for vases?
Well, I don't really feel I understand it myself, so I don't want to like talk too much. I'll just say, and this is always my cop-out when I'm exploring new stuff. First thing to go, track 1. I'm just sorting through it. Just be patient with me. But, Haley's releasing stuff. Pandemic, we got time to soak in it. And I am going to soak in it. Similar to, I guess, what appears to be the milk whoever's on that album cover is soaking in. I'm not super sure. Again, very unfamiliar with the project itself. So I'm going to not say anything other than I'm listening to it at the moment.
All right. Awesome. Well, let's head to Patreon. I want to talk more about the mechanics of this world.
I do too, but also
no, I'm tired.
What's that? Yeah, Abed playing Troy and Community. I do, but I don't. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye. Love you, Tom.
Love you all. Love you, man. Bye. Thank you so much to everyone who stuck through that entire episode. It was a lot of fun to record it in person with Pat a few months ago. We are deep into the vault for the next month, but we are still here for you on Twitter @_ReminiscentFM. Please hit us up and let us know how you think the mechanics of this universe work. It is honestly insane to both of us. You can check out the show notes for this episode at reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/222. And you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/reminiscent. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you next week. We love you all so, so, so much. Bye, everyone.